Hey, today we're diving into Alex Garland's new film, Warfare. Now, at first glance, it's a simple story. A story of Navy SEALs entering a house in Iraq for a mission that goes sideways. That's it. There's no plot twists, no multi-threaded narratives, no global conspiracies, and yet it's one of the most gripping, intense, and realistic films we've seen in many years. So how does a film with such a minimal setup feel so powerful? And that's what we're breaking down today. Whether you're a screenwriter, a filmmaker, or just a fan of smart storytelling, there's a lot to learn about how Warfare takes simplicity and turns it into something that is cinematic brilliance. So how does a movie that on paper seems so straightforward, soldiers enter a home, things go bad, become one of the most gripping films of the year of 2025 so far? It starts with the choices made at the foundational level of story, where it takes place, how we experience it, and what we're allowed to see. Now let's begin with one of the boldest decisions the filmmakers made, which is keeping almost the entire story in one single location. Now the entire film takes place in and around a single two-story apartment building in Ramadi. That's it. But the limitation is exactly what gives the story its intensity. The house becomes a pressure cooker. Every creak, every voice, every footstep, every whisper echoes with anxiety. Alex Garland explained it in an interview with military.com that they actually built multiple buildings for the set, but only one, the house, was fully enterable. Why? To make it feel as real as possible for both the actors as well as the audience. And here's the quote from Alex. "We built something like 9 or 13 buildings. I can't quite remember. Most of them were facades, but there was one, the house, that you could walk into." Now, limiting the action to one location isn't a new concept, but in Warfare, it's not just about reducing scope, it's about concentrating the experience. The walls don't just contain the action, they amplify it. What fills those walls? That's where the second technique comes in, tension, constant nerve-wracking tension. The movie doesn't give us a moment to relax. From the second the SEALs step into the house, there is a sense that something could go wrong at any second. And it usually does. What's amazing is how this tension is built not just through gunfire explosions, but silence. Long stretches where characters wait, or whisper, or try not to breathe. According to Garland in an interview with Slash Film, they stayed true to real-time pacing, even if it meant no action at all. Here's the quote again. Garland, "We wouldn't distort them or compress them or change them. If for 5 minutes nobody did anything, they just sat there silently. That's what the camera would do." Now here's the thing. Tension doesn't work in a vacuum. It has to feel personal. The audience can only stay on edge if they're right there with the characters, feeling every doubt, every pause, every sound, and that's where the third and maybe most critical element of Warfare comes into play, perspective. Garland and Mendoza make a bold choice. They hardly cut away from the SEALs. No shots of generals shouting in command centers, no enemy POV, no extended drone surveillance that doesn't include our soldiers. We're with the soldiers, in the house, in the smoke, in the chaos, and in the fight. This makes every moment feel immediate. They never know more than they do, and that's where the immersion becomes almost unbearable, in the best way. Garland said to RoperEbert.com, "The aim is to embed the audience with the soldiers and provide an immersion, an experience of modern combat as possible." So we looked at the craft behind Warfare, how Garland and Mendoza use setting, pacing, and perspective to turn simplicity into strength. But what does that mean for you as a writer or storyteller? How can you take these principles and use them to elevate your own work? Well, let's break it down. Our first writing tip is use constraints to spark creativity. Want to make your story more intense? Shrink your sandbox. Instead of 10 locations, try 1. Instead of a dozen characters, focus on 2 or 3. Confined spaces can breed creativity and force your characters into meaningful conflict. Example, think of Buried, 10 Cloverleaf Lane, or Room. These films provide that with strong characters and stakes, one space is more than enough. Second tip is make every quiet moment carry weight. In Warfare, silence is tension. You don't always need dramatic action to keep your audience glued to the screen. What matters is that they feel the stakes. Well, how? Foreshadowing, subtle character choices, and the threat of danger works wonders. If your character is hiding from something, let us feel their breath. Don't tell us the bomb is ticking. Instead, show us the sweat. Writing tip 3. Stick with your protagonist. Instead of jumping around to different storylines or perspectives, consider staying with one character or group for the entire story. Let the audience discover things when the character does. It builds empathy, heightens mystery, and roots the viewer emotionally. One of the best examples of this comes from 1917. The camera rarely leaves the protagonist. That single perspective journey made every obstacle feel like our own. Now, if you're feeling overwhelmed by complex plots or sprawling world-building, Warfare is proof that simplicity, when done with intention, can be just as powerful, if not more so. It all comes down to choices, from your setting, sustaining your tension, as well as walking side by side with your characters. So have you seen Warfare? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Did it grab you as much as it grabbed me? And if you're working on a story right now, how can you take some of the stuff that you just learned about today and make your story more simple to help make it stronger? If you like this video, you'll like this one here where I talk about one of Marvel's most iconic lines.